Hello everybody, and today I'm going to make a lasagna that even the non-cooks can make. Okay, so if anybody's out there that has never made lasagna, this is the easiest way possible. Actually, no, it isn't, because you can make lasagna without boiling the noodles. All you do is you put the noodles in just the way they come out of the box, and what you have to do is you have to water down the sauce a little bit. You water down the sauce, you put the noodles in, and boom, it's done. You let it bake until a knife comes out clean and quick, and it's done. All right, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to boil the noodles. Anyway, you have to have a pot about this big. Okay, I'm making, here, let me show you. I'm making a lasagna this big right here. Okay, so that's what, I don't know, however big that is. How thick is that? Like 6 inches? Yeah, that's about right. And I don't know how much this way and that way, but oh wait, it says it on the bottom. 8 by 8. Oh, it's 8 by 8. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to make the lasagna in. So you need a pot about this big. Okay, maybe a little smaller, you'll get away with it, but you can't boil noodles, no matter what kind they are, in a really small pot with a little bit of water. It doesn't work that way. Believe it or not, there is a ratio to water to pasta. I don't know what it is, but in other words, if I tried to cook 10 boxes of lasagna in here, it's not going to work. It would never work. So anyway, this much water for this much lasagna, and let's go. Now I put it on the stove. I put a lid on it. Alright, there's going to be a lid on it. Now, this sausage, what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to boil it just the way it is. And then I'll chop it up. After it's cooked, I'll chop it up and then I'll brown it in a saute pan. But for right now, I'm putting some water in a pan and we're going to just boil it, just the way it is. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't care. Alright, here we go. Boil away. Okay, I had to remove the audio from this part of the video because I have this guy. He's just some YouTube freak, and he's talking all kinds of garbage, and he's just, forget it. I just erased the audio. Alright, so here's what we have here. We've got this pot that's already boiled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more water to the pot because I'm going to cook a couple extra sheets of lasagna noodles because I just had a great idea, which you will see what it is in a second coming up. Okay, so I'm going to put that water back on the stove and let it boil. Make sure you cover it with a lid. If you cover it, it'll boil a lot faster. Alright, so I'm going to add some salt to the water. Alright, there you go. It's quite a bit of salt. Don't add any oil to the water. That's just a myth that people think you add oil to the water and it will stop everything from sticking or something. I don't know. No. That's a myth. Don't waste your oil. What stops the noodles from sticking is when you stir it. That's all that's to it. It's not the oil. Trust me. You're just wasting your oil if you add oil to it. All right, so let me see. I have about I don't know, 15 sheets of lasagna noodles there. Like I said, I had an idea to make some more lasagna, so I added some sheets to it. I don't really need a bigger pot, not for this, you know, not for 15 sheets. What's going on right now? I don't know. What the heck was that? I don't know, magic. It's a magic act. I'm gonna make that pan disappear. Alright, there it goes. Okay, so anyway, I'm just waiting now for the water to come back to a boil. Once it does, I'm good to go. Alright, so like I say, we got about 15 sheets. Now, they take about 12 minutes to cook, the lasagna noodles. If you like them a little softer, cook them longer. You know, it's no big deal. And like I said in the beginning, you can actually make this without cooking the noodles at all. All you have to do is water down the sauce. I really don't like it that way because it just tastes, you know, starchy. You know, all the starch is still in there. In other words, you don't wash the starch off. All right, here we go. Back. All right, I'll be back. Okay.
I thought they were my friend. And come find out, no, not at all.
Okay, here we go.
No,
the water's boiling. I'm going to add in the noodles. Now look, don't just throw them in. You want to kind of stagger them. That way they won't stick together. Alright, now we're going to boil these until they're done, which I'm not really 100% sure. I'll time it.
That was the only reason. And in fact, she so in a damn hangar. Yeah.
Once they start to boil, you can stir it up to make sure none of them are stuck together. Now don't forget, this is for the guys that don't know how to cook. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 can of, 1 bottle of the stuff you buy in the store. I have 1 homemade, but I don't have 2. If I did, I'd use 2 of them, but that's not helping you. You know, because you're not going to make tomato sauce. So just use 1 or 2 cans of this, depending on how many you're going to make. All right. I'm gonna use both of these, the homemade and the can. All right, let me stir those noodles, and then we'll go from there. Oh.
I agree, PP. I agree with you 100%. I need to be training my children.
Alright, you might want to come back a little later and stir them again. Okay, it's 22 minutes to 2. I'll be back. Darn, I forgot to hit the button. Alright, anyway, here's what we have. We've got the sausage. All I did was boil this. I'm not going to brown it. It looks pretty good the way it is. I've got 1 little container of ricotta cheese right here. To the ricotta, I added some salt, some pepper, 1 egg. I'm going to add some fresh basil in there from the greenhouse. Okay, then I'm going to add some oregano. Alright, now look, for those of you who don't know how to cook, for the guys that don't know how to cook, Alabama sheepdog, I'm talking to you. This step here, this ricotta cheese is optional. You don't need this. Okay? Alright. Hold on, let me mix this in. I thawed the tomato sauce out in the microwave. You know, ricotta cheese has almost no flavor at all. So whatever you add into it, That's what it's going to end up as. The egg helps hold it together so that when when you cut it, it doesn't just crumble apart. All right. Okay. So, now here's what we got. Let me go through this one more time real quick. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We didn't pay the light bill. All right, so here's what we got. We've got some tomato sauce. You buy it in the store like this. This is the easiest way. Then you have the lasagna noodles over here. You have to boil those. Well, you don't really have to, but I don't like the flavor when you put them in there whole and they're not cooked. It seems like it puts in too much starch into the lasagna. So just cook them 12 minutes. 12 minutes in a large pot with a lot of water. Okay? Don't make the mistake of trying to cook them in a little small pot. That's not going to work for you. Alright, so here we go. Now, in the ricotta, I have 1 egg, oregano, garlic, salt, pepper, and fresh basil. Okay, that's what's in here. Alright. So now here we have tomato sauce and noodles. That's all we got going here. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I wanted to spray this. Okay. Alright, so you start out with sauce on the bottom. Sauce on the bottom, okay? And now we're going to put the noodles in. Overlap the noodles. That will help you.
But ideas that actually bring Republicans and Democrats together. We've worked on this incredibly hard for months to get an agreement between Republicans and Democrats to lower drug prices. Something that can get signed by the law about the president. Something that would actually work for families that express.
All right. Now I want to cut this off. I don't want to leave this up there. But don't worry, I'm going to use them. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of ricotta.
That's been going on from day one that Speaker Pelosi took that gavel. And today, unfortunately, she bowed down to the most radical elements of her base instead of standing up to them and saying that she was going to work for the American people. By bringing articles after years of investigations, with the Mueller investigation being the link they thought was going to be, they think that delivered.
Okay, we're going to add some cheese that I bought already shredded. So you've got the stuff you bought in the store was lasagna noodles, some kind of spaghetti sauce, and this shredded cheese. Now, like I said, you don't really need the ricotta, but if you want to use it, it really does. It really is a nice touch in there. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to make another layer. This layer is not going to have any ricotta.
All the times that the Democrats brought witness after witness that were supposed to be the star witness, they were asked by our members point blank, can you name an impeachable offense? Not one. Can you name any kind of bribery? Not one. Yet they still go forward with impeachment, not because there's evidence, which is what the constitutional standard should be, but because they're afraid he will get reelected. And time after time, you've heard Democrats in this House say exactly that. They're not impeaching the president because they can list an impeachable offense. They're impeaching him because they're afraid he will get reelected. That's not why you have the power of...
I'll tell you, man, the Democrats are out of control. Case closed.
Adam Schiff and her counterparts have been abusing the power of impeachment because they're afraid Donald Trump will get reelected on his own. The American people should be the ones that decide
All right.
who the president is, not Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff.
Now we're going to add some sausage, which I have to cut up. The sausage is not ready yet. Sausage is really tender. Woo! I'm telling you, when you boil it for about an hour, boy, it comes out really nice. As tender as can be.
That's something that she's ultimately going to have to account for. A lot of her own colleagues are couldn't stand up to this radical.
Okay.
They wouldn't be talking about this if they felt confident in their own plan. More and more Democrats are talking about getting in the race for president to this day. But ultimately, they ought to trust the American people with the election and not still trying to reverse the results of the last election. That's what I think is supposed to be.
There we go. We're going to add some mozzarella.
We got the money. So let's get some
Mozzarella works like glue. You know, it kind of binds everything together.
I think people know what's really going on in politics, and they've seen the abuse of power. Last week,
All right.
spying on members
We're going to hit it with some more noodles.
records of journalists. We don't know how many. I asked anywhere at the college last week.
This is it. One more layer of ricotta.
Morning. So back in 2016, the Democrats called those...
All right, now, like I said, I'm making this for the guys who can't cook. You know,
Democrats still cannot get over
if you guys can't boil some noodles
won the election.
in a pot
Just last
and put the noodles out with some store-bought spaghetti sauce,
they created the timeline of...
perhaps you should be eating at McDonald's every night.
Many of you know this timeline, because once they took the...
Okay, let me add a little bit more sauce to this.
Jerry Nadler campaigned that he would be... the-
Careful, don't stir this too much because the sauce will add,
Day of swearing
you know, it'll disappear in the, it'll disappear in the, woo, in the
Congresswoman Shalini
cheese.
wield the wing to impeach. You had Al Green...
It's going to do that a little bit anyway, but don't try to do it on purpose. Okay, there we go.
And now today...
All right, top it with cheese and that's it. It's done. Now that's going to go into a 350-degree oven for, I don't know, maybe 50 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't know at this point.
They have a lot of members on their side very concerned.
All right, that goes in the oven. Done and done. Okay, now look, you can't get any simpler than that. That's lasagna, okay? So, for all the guys who can't cook, Alabama sheepdog, I'm talking to you. And the Pope,
She's held it for more than a year.
Pope, what is he, Pope 16? Pope Benedict? You have to pay attention. All right, now here's what I'm going to try. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grease these pans. Woo! And I'm going to make a little individual, whatchamacallits. Wait a minute, I don't want to use that. I'll use this. So I'm going to go around like this.
You then went to say if there was an abuse, it'd be abuse on the Democrats.
Okay. And I'm going to put this little square inside there on the bottom. Okay, that's the bottom. Now I'm going to add one little bit of sauce. I'm going to add a little hit of ricotta. And I'm going to add some more noodles. Right there, okay. Then I'm going to add a chunk of sausage. Right there. A little bit more sauce. Alright, and another hit of ricotta, and then a little bit of, what do you call it? Mozzarella. So, we're going to see how this works. Okay, I speeded this up a bit so you don't have to sit here and watch the whole thing. You know, it's kind of painful. Anyway, here's what's going on. I'm running out of mozzarella cheese. So what I did was I had some Swiss cheese in the refrigerator, and I took that out and I chopped it up real small, and I'm going to add it to the little bit of mozzarella that I have left. It came out very nice. It just gave the lasagnas a little sharper flavor. But don't wait until you run out of mozzarella before you do that. You know what I'm saying? You want to mix the other cheese with the mozzarella in case that happens. You know, that's what makes you a good chef, is when you're running out of something, or if you don't have something and you substitute and it tastes good, that's what makes you a chef. You know, you can make something out of nothing. In other words, I could have ran out of mozzarella and just said, oh, the heck with it. But, you know, what's the crime in adding some Swiss cheese to it? You know, there is none. The Swiss cheese adds a little bit more bite to the lasagna, that's all. Okay, so anyway, here I am. I'm making these little things. Man, they came out really nice. I mean, they're pretty cool. You know, you know, little mini lasagnas. They're really good. Like I said, you know, you can serve lasagna as a side dish if you do this. They're in the freezer right now. I'm waiting for them to freeze. Well, actually, they should be frozen by now. You know, this is the next day. But you know, once they're frozen and they're hard, then I can put them into the freezer bags. You know, if you try to put something in a freezer bag in the food saver when it's not frozen, forget it. It's just gonna smash it, you know, smash it down flat as a pancake. So what I did was I baked them all, and I took them out of the pan, and then I put them into the freezer. I'm gonna cover this with aluminum foil. The aluminum is gonna keep the lasagna noodles from burning. The noodles that are coming up the sides of the pan, you know, it'll stop them from burning. So that's what's going on right now, and I'm gonna go back to the video. Here we go. All right, it's going in the oven. Okay, here's what's going on here. I wasn't real happy with the pie. First of all, I should have greased the bottom of that second pie tin, and because I didn't, the pie dough stuck to the second pie tin. What I did there was I poked some holes in the pie crust, and then I put those marbles in as weight. So that way the crust is going to be flat when I take the top part off. There's not, you know what I mean, there's not a lot of bubbles and stuff like that. Okay, but here's where the problem came in. It really wasn't a problem. The pie came out, and it tastes very good. But when I tried to make the gelatin bloom with the whipped topping, it didn't quite work. So I had to add water to it. All right, I didn't want to add water, but I did. All right, anyway, that's the gelatin and the whipped topping right there. Then I just showed you the ganache. Okay, the ganache was left over from the strawberry things that I made. I don't know when that was, a week or two ago. I don't know. I put it in the refrigerator, and it came out perfect. By the way, the lasagna, it came out perfect. You can see the little couple pieces of sausage on top of the big one. That's the little leftover sausage that I had. I just put it on top. I also added Parmesan cheese on top of that big one. All right, now for the pie, I'm using 1.25 cups of peanut butter. All right, 1.25 cups approximately. And what I'm doing now is I'm heating up the peanut butter. I'm warming it up. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of peanut butter to that whipped topping with the gelatin, and I'm going to put it on the stove, let it get hot, or warm, not hot, but warm. Okay, now there's one little bit of vanilla. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. The pie dough got broken apart. You think you'd give up at this stage? No, don't do that. Here's what you do. Take some of that ganache, pour it into a bag. Cut the thingy off about as big as your little finger, fingernail. All right, then do this and get it all over there.
But in the world of this, a lying, scheming, self-important, pathetic lunatic, there are no such constitutional benefits.
Okay, I'm going to give it a couple minutes in the fridge, and then we'll put the mousse in.
They want power, and they will do anything to get it. Now, when a puppet show moved to NAMLA's Judiciary Committee, Schiff's so-called intelligence report peddled lie after lie. And then they say the facts are not contested. I still don't know what the president's charged with. Their accusations move at a whack-a-mole speed from Russian collusion to racism.
Wow.
And now to
Look at these little lasagnas.
Where do you think we are?
Hold it.
Day one.
Check this out. Look at that, man. That is perfect.
James Rosen, news conference was over. It was a shouted question. Do you hate the president? And she turned on him and said it was insulting to ask her that as a Catholic. You take her at her word when she says...
I'm going to cut this open.
I don't know. I don't know what she means. I think she thinks it's success. I think the entire Democratic Party thinks it's success. I believe that. And actually, speaking of the Clinton impeachment, Nancy Pelosi told Republicans that they all hated Bill Clinton at that time. So she's had quite the evolution when it comes to impeachment and her thoughts on different things.
One frequent criticism in the press, Stephanie, is that Democrats are being accused of rushing this process forward without all the evidence, without all the facts, because of the campaign calendar.
Oh, yeah, man.
But it's the administration that is slowing this down by blocking testimony from the likes of Rudy Giuliani, Mulvaney, John Bolton.
Gotta eat. All right, listen. It doesn't get much better than this. So, I'll see you later. I gotta go. I gotta eat.
I would also point out to people that...
Okay, here we go. Eat the peanut butter pie. I'm gonna put a little water on the knife. go through that chocolate. It helps if you keep the knife clean. I mean, if you're looking for appearance, it helps if you keep the knife clean. If you don't care about appearance, just dig in, man. All right, there you go. There it is. It did work. The gelatin did work. However, I'm going to get some of the real topping, and I'll do it with that, and I'm sure that'll make a big difference. But here you can see, even though the crust broke on the bottom, you know, it's all glued together right now with the ganache, and even though the edge broke off, doesn't matter. Still got a good looking piece of pie. Now you take some whipped cream, put a whipped cream around there, and what? Some peanuts. Yeah, it tastes good. But I have to fix that mousse. I don't like it. But it tastes really good. Trust me. Here, I'm gonna cut this thing up. And I'll put it in the freezer. And tomorrow, once it's frozen, I will put it in the storage freezer bags. It's a lot easier to work with that way. Okay. To the freezer. Yeah. Hey, do you guys remember that sauce I had? Remember that sauce I had on the little Cornish game hen? Remember that last week? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in muffin pans. I'm going to put some pie dough in the muffin pans. Put this schmutz in with the streusel on top.
Right back.
And then bake it. That's really good stuff. Black currants, orange juice, and burgundy. Very good. And this peanut butter pie is killer. Now look, you may be able to find some peanut butter pie around your town, but you're not going to find it any better than this right here. I gotta go. I gotta eat.